Back with Terry McConnell, the mayor of North Kingsville.
Morning.
Good morning. Found the place okay.
Found it okay, yeah.
So how long have you been mayor?
I've been mayor for 9 years. This is my 9th year.
Okay.
So.
Now, were you not mayor for a while and came back, or am I thinking?
No, I was council.
Okay.
I was on council for 7 years. Ron McVoy was mayor.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, and then he stepped down, and I was president pro tem, so I became mayor and finished out one year there, and now I've done 2 terms. So.
Okay. And he's on council, Ron McVoy.
Yeah, he came back on council just a couple of years ago. So he's there. We just reversed seats in a way. So it's pretty interesting.
So at some point he moved to North Kingsville, I think, because he used to live in Conneaut, I believe.
Yeah, he lived, well, when he was mayor, he lived in North Kingsville off of Poor Road.
Oh, yeah.
He had a house back on Poor Road. And then, I don't know where he went after he left for a while, but now he lives on Route 20 in North Kingsville.
Okay.
So.
I'm getting to know Poor Road a little bit from trying to get the great bridge thing.
A lot of people are knowing Poor Road and knowing Reed Road. And,
yeah.
Yeah, because of the bridge.
Right.
It's been a problem, but you know we had to work with ODOT, and so far it's been pretty good. We're not.
I mean, it's going by relatively quickly. We're looking at hopefully 3 months from now it'll be open. We're talking about the Amboy Bridge.
Right. Actually, what we've been told is the 22nd of December, at least 2 lanes will be open. But you know they're battling with the railroad and having to work with the railroad, and so they've got a contract to meet. So
right.
We've been told, you know, way everything's permitting, weather permitting, and everything, that the 22nd of December we should be able to go across the bridge again with 2 lanes,
right.
And then they'll come back in the spring or something and finish up, I believe. So
it'll be 2 lanes for a while then.
It'll be 2 lanes for a while, from what I understand. My last contact with them, so.
And they're supposed to be all done by what, like June or something like that next year?
I believe it's something like that, but who knows? You know, with the way things are going,
yeah.
and stuff like that. And I know that before, just recently, they had to work nights.
Yeah.
On the
bringing the lights and all.
Yeah, and they had to do that because of the railroad. You know, they had to be cooperative with the railroad, and so they had to work nights for a while.
I know a few neighbors in that area weren't too happy with them in the first place. I don't know how the night. Did you get any complaints about that?
We did when it originally happened, you know, but it's like everything else. People get used to what's going
right.
on, and you know, and then the complaints die down. So I haven't had any complaints in quite a while.
It's going to be a markedly different bridge from the crumbling thing that was there before.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's supposed to be a couple of feet higher,
right?
And it's going to be wider, so it's going to be a pretty nice bridge. I believe there's going to be a nice walkway across the top.
Oh.
So at least that's what the prints, when I remember seeing them, was
oh, that'll be nice.
For. Yeah. So it's going to be different. It's going to be a newer bridge, so be a big asset between Conneaut and North Kingsville.
Yeah. I remember a few years ago the thing was just crumbling, and I don't know who at the time that said, yeah, it doesn't look good, but it's structurally sound and all. No, I don't know.
Oh no, cosmetically it looked terrible, didn't it?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh,
yeah, it was. It was. I remember getting a new bicycle and going across there once, and it hit something, and I got a flat tire right away. I said, I don't think I'm going to go on that bridge again.
No, I don't blame you. Sometimes I didn't like driving across it. You know, you'd look at it and say, man, I don't know about this bridge. But, you know, it was structurally sound, I guess.
Right.
So I don't know anything else about it until they started to tear it down. So.
But as you say, it's going to look nicer, and for people coming into Conneaut or North Kingsville, it's going to be a much better presentation-wise.
Well, better than what it was.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's not going to be all torn apart, but it'll look good. It's sort of like some of the new bridges, like you have down on Parish Road.
Yeah.
You know, that opening there. So that's what I envision. So it'll look nice.
So have people on Reed Road learned to slow down yet? Or
Not really.
Road, or?
Not really. Gore Road and Reed Road, even sometimes Poor. When this first happened, we had a lot of speeders.
Yeah.
A lot of speeders. We had people on Gore Road and on Reed say, "Hey, please come and stay in my driveway." But with the issuing of tickets and we've been watching it, and people have started to get the habit of they need to slow down. But occasionally you have those people that want to travel 45, 50 down Reed Road and Gore Road. I can't imagine them trying to go that fast because Gore Road is pretty chewed up with the traffic. The big trucks that have gone down through there and the way the road was originally.
I've been down Gore Road a few times.
Yeah.
I guess it doesn't a whole lot of sense in doing anything too much with it until the bridge opens.
Yeah, right. And then we're hoping ODOT will help us with that. They came out and took pictures of the roads and everything, and before, and then we'll take pictures afterwards, and hopefully we can get something done with them, or some help. I'll put it like that.
I know people on Creek Road have complained too, but that's Kingsville, so.
Yeah, it's kind of at Kingsville.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the areas have been affected, because all the traffic was diverted from, say, 90, to come into this town. They either went up 90 and came down 193, or they came off 7 and went up Lake Road, But anybody that knows the area knows about Reed Road, knows about Gore Road, knows about, Harmon Road, Poor Road.
Right.
So, and that's what we were concerned about, the safety of the people there. I mean, there are families living on these roads, there are kids living on these roads, and you have people that are from out of town traveling that don't know the area and probably don't know the speeds even though they're posted. So we had a big concern on that, and we also had a concern on responding. Should Conneaut need our help on the fire department, police department? I mean,
oh, that's right, yeah.
Yeah, we were worried about, what would be our response time and how would it affect our response time depending on if we had to go down, say, Crick Road, or if we had to go down Gore Road, Lake Road. But they worked all that out, and I guess it's minimal to, at least that's what I've been told. So we haven't had a problem with response time to assisting Conneaut or anything.
I've talked a little bit to some of the merchants in that area, and they don't seem to have been impacted too badly. I talked to Greg Sweet early on, and he said that so far so good. And, he didn't want to make too big of a, but.
Yeah, well, early on, he was really concerned.
I know he was.
When he thought it was going to impact him greatly, as well as some of the other businesses that were down there. But they put up, I know Greg put up some signs,
right.
And
I see at Creek and Reed Road is Mike's Mowers. Mike put a sign there.
Right, Mike put a sign up there. So, I know it's impacted them. How much, I'm not sure. I know one time Greg, he was predicting about losing quite a bit of business, and I haven't talked to him in a while, so I don't know really how much he really got affected. I know he's been affected, but if you've just talked to him recently...
Well, it wasn't too recently. It was right after the bridge closing. But it would seem to me like if you're buying a car... I mean, if you're going to get a loaf of bread and you're going to get it in North Kingsville, you might as well go to the Amboy Mini Mart and go around there. But if you're going to buy a car there, you're going to a Ford dealership, you're going to go to Erie instead.
Well, yeah. I mean, I look at it like this. If your reputation is good and people know, and his is.
It is, definitely.
It is, and he's got the 2 car lots, one in North Kingsville, one over here in Conneaut.
Yeah.
And if people are interested in cars, they know Greg Sweet.
Yeah.
And they know where it's at, So... actually, you can just drive down towards Amboy Bridge and everything. Everything's good there. So I don't see how that really impacted. I mean, if they know where it's at, they're going to go. If people want to buy a car and they want to go in that area, they're going to go there. If people want to go to Mike Moore's, they know where it's at and they know where to go. So but I guess what his concern was, the travel that goes through that way, like from North Kingsville or Asheville or anyway, the travel on 20, he was concerned about maybe people driving through and say, hey, there's a car lot.
Yeah.
There's a car sales
That's true.
place. And I think that's what he was really concerned about. Not so much the people in the area that know where he's at, but passerbys. And And I can understand that. You know, that's visualization is a lot of what what goes on for sales. So, but like I said, I haven't talked to him in a while, and hopefully everything was working out for him.
Yeah.
Same with Mike Moores, and I don't know too much of anything else that's down that way that I can think of off the top of my head. But you know, I think everything has been going well, and then you know here at the end of this year, everything will start to pick up again.
Right.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
So,
I got grandkids that live in North Kingsville, and I live on South Ridge in Conneaut, so
oh, okay.
I find myself going through there a lot, using Creek Road and Reed Road.
Yeah, now I understand that a lot of people that I know that live on Creek Road are concerned that, you know, traffic has picked up and speeds picked up on their road. Because I've asked them, like, or they've asked me, can't you guys come over and patrol our area? And I said, no, not really. That's
no, we got enough of our own.
Yeah, we got our own problems.
I'm warning about they'll be closing off, and this isn't anything that you have any control over, is they close off Creek Road by the covered bridge sometimes for the winter there. So then you've got...
Oh, yeah, that bridge that's down there at the end of Creek Road, like...
Yeah, well, at the covered bridge at Creek Road, so you're going...
Right.
Yeah, so that's... Then you have to end up going down, all the way down Keefus to Route 20, then North Amboy to South Amboy,
right,
to go around.
Yeah. When I was a kid, I used to go down to that bridge a lot, you know, because I grew up on Reed Road. Well, I grew up in Kingsville too, and then we moved to North Kingsville. But I know the bridge, and I used to camp down there, go swimming.
Oh yeah.
Years ago. So, I don't know how it is now. Ago. Yeah, it's quite a few years ago. So
I know people that don't know North Kingsville at all know that, switching gears a little bit, is that there is a lot of nice housing developments. It's kind of a real bedroom community. I know, at least I'm thinking.
Yeah, it is. It is a bedroom community to a sense. I mean, if you go down Lake Road, if you travel Lake Road from Conneaut to Ashtabula, you'll see a lot of nice homes are being built right there on the lake. And then off of 20, we have some new developments, you know, Fieldstone, Harmony Glen, nice developments through there. No, North Kingsville is a nice place. It really is. And it doesn't have the big businesses. Premix is our big business there.
Right.
And but we have, you know, a couple of eateries. We have a grocery store and stuff like that. A couple of tractor sales, and so I mean it's nice. It really is. It meets all your needs, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, if you wanted to go eat, you have a place to go eat. You got to buy groceries. You got a place to get groceries. You know, so.
Covered Bridge Pizza. That's my North Kingsville place today.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, Covered Bridge is well known, and it has good pizza, good food.
Yeah. And everybody there, they kind of know you. And okay, you're going to get a large pepperoni mushroom and a small whole wheat with them. You know, I don't even have to tell them. So.
Yeah, same here. I'll go in there and they go 2 ranch dressings with that salad, Terry, and I go, yeah, you know, that's what I always get. So. But it's nice. It's nice to go into an area like that, and people know you. You know, and it's that home feeling.
Right.
It's great. I like it.
Yeah. My son lives off Fieldstone.
Off Fieldstone, yeah.
So until recently, I had a regular Thursday thing where I would ride my bike from my house in Conneaut and go through Creek Road and all of that to get there, and then I'd take the grandkids out around all of the cul-de-sacs and everything. We would do a little bike ride there.
Oh yeah.
And it's a nice, take the 2 4-year-olds, they're twins, together and whatever kind of concoct tricycles or push cycles, whatever they have, and then I would take the 6-year-old. So we waving at everybody, they're smiling. I think for a while there I thought they were smiling at me, but I think they're smiling at the grandkids.
Yeah, they
bicycles.
probably are. Yeah.
But it shows how nice it is there, and the fact that there's a lot of nice homes and people that are zipping by on Route 20 getting somewhere. I just found that everywhere, if you ride a bicycle or something, that you can see a lot more of a community than you do zipping by.
Oh yeah.
In a car. Yeah. Like her trying to get from Ashtabula to Conneaut or something like that.
sometimes being a passenger is better than a driver.
Absolutely.
I mean, even when my wife drives and outside, you drive. I want to be the passenger, and I'll stop. I mean, I'll be looking outside, looking at some things that in North Kingsville or wherever, and say, I never noticed that really before. And I'll say to her, I said, well, when did they do that over there? And she'll say, well, that's been like that. And I go, she goes, haven't you seen that? I said, no, my eyes are on the road. So, but yeah, there are some things pop up that you haven't seen before, or people are making improvements or whatever. But it's nice. It really is. It's a great place to come and visit. We have a couple of things there to offer, quite a few things really.
Right.
And so if you haven't been there, you should just come up there and drive around and look at what we got. We got a beautiful view of the lake.
Absolutely. You have the little park there.
Little park, Sunset Park.
And let's take a break and we'll get back to that. We'll get back to maybe talk about the golf course a little bit.
Sure.
I want to talk about the mayor's court a little bit.
All right.
And I want to talk about the school.
School.
See if
right.
All right. So lots to talk about. We'll be back.
All right.
We have Terry McConnell. We got different things to talk about here. He is the mayor of North Kingsville. And we're going to talk a little bit about the golf course because it is one of, 2 communities in the county that has its own golf course?
Municipally run.
Right. Geneva on the Lake, I think?
Geneva on the Lake, I believe. I know they have one, and I think it's run by Geneva on the Lake. And in fact, I know it is because their administration there is involved like ours is. So I think all the rest of them are privately owned, if I'm not mistaken.
So you have the golf course there and you have a campground.
Right.
Which I spent many a day when we had a camper at the North Kingsville campground.
Yeah, it's that campground. It holds like 70 trailers right now, and then we have some drive-throughs, overnighters. But it's been prospering every year, so we're doing good on that. It holds its own. General fund doesn't have to give it any money or anything, so it's great. People love it. Over the years, I've been involved with that for 16 years, because when I was first a councilman, I was put in charge of the golf course, chairman of the golf course and chairman of the campground. And each year we were making money on the campgrounds, and each year we had to you got to put money into it to get money back.
Absolutely, yeah.
So Councilman Mike Morrow, when I got put in as mayor, Councilman Mike Morrow, I appointed him chairman. And he's been doing a fantastic job down there. And we put in in one area we put in new electric and new water, and we got plans, to expand that campground the way things are going right now. But it's nice. Unfortunately, it's not really a kids type compared to every other campground around here. That campground is basically, in my opinion, is like a fisherman's campground. That's primarily the most. People that we have come in there are fishermen, boaters, but there are some things for the kids to do. I mean, there's a little league field right there. Right. We have a little playground. We got a couple of things people can do with, but it's a great place to stay and take off from wherever you want to go to anything else. Like when D-Day's in here, Conneaut, we get a lot of campers, and so yeah, the campground's good. It's a nice place.
From what I also remember about the campground is I knew people that were snowbirds. They sold their homes and they would live in, I don't know if there are anymore, but there were people that lived in Florida during the winter and they would come and just stay in the campground during the summertime. I'm
sure we have some of those people. A lot of people, from what I understand, we come out of Youngstown. We got quite a few out of Youngstown and stuff, but yeah, there are people there. We have our permanents, and I don't know, we might have 20, 25 permanents, and they come from all over, and that's where they stay. We're open from October 15th to April 15th, or April 15th to October 15th. And I think our last campers just left maybe a week ago. So yeah, we have people stay there all the time, and they enjoy it.
I had people I knew, I believe they lived in North Kingsville or Ashtabula, and they sold their home here, bought someplace in Florida, and then they would spend 4 or 5 months here at the campground. So.
Well, we have some people that, for example, sold their home. They'll live in our campground because they're building another house.
Oh, okay. Now, that's interesting.
Yeah, and we've had some people do that. They have a camper, they stay there while their house is being built, whether it be in North Kingsville, which I know one is being built in North Kingsville where the campers have stayed there. They sold their home and lived there for a while until this is built. So, you know, there's that advantage point. So I hope that's good.
We had the county auditor on, Roger Corlett, a while ago, and he was talking about areas that where home prices were going, that were doing well, and they said along the lake in North Kingsville was one of them.
Yeah. North Kingsville is considered high, I don't know how you put it, but like we have trouble trying to get grants to get rid of houses and everything because they say, well, your income in that area is above average compared to, you know, like some of the other ones. So that it's hard for us to try to get a lot of things done, like Conneaut or Ashtabula or even other municipalities or cities. They can get grants to say, you know, just off the top of my head, say demolish houses.
Right.
It's hard for us to try to get that because they'll say, well, no, your income in that area, you know, you don't qualify. So there's a good side and there's a bad side. Unfortunately, the bad side or the downside is we got to try to manage with what budget we have and continue the services that we are doing, and then you know, try to work with what we can get done with what we have.
Right.
So it's challenging.
It's kind of what the Buckeye superintendent was on a few weeks ago. I was talking about the same thing in the Buckeye School District, that they can't get the money to build new schools like they did everywhere else in the county.
Right. I used to work for the Buckeye school system for 10 years, and I sat on a lot. You know, we'd have board meetings and everything, and yeah, we were faced back then with that problem, and unfortunately, that's what it is. I mean, the Buckeye area used to be, and I'm not really sure now, but it used to be considered the elite area. You know, people wanted to come to this area and everything, and I don't know now, but they're holding their own, I guess.
Well, yeah, Tom Derringer, the superintendent, said that it is still a place where more open enrollment comes into the school system than leaves.
Right. In fact, Tom Derringer, when I worked for the school system, Tom Derringer was the principal at Edgewood Senior High.
Yeah.
So.
And that's interesting, is that he's not. When he was on the show, he mentioned he's not from this area. He's from Norwalk, and he was working in schools all over the Cleveland area. Whatever, he was at Edgewood for a few years in the 1990s, 92 or something like that. Then he goes off someplace else for a while, but when he decided to retire, he came back to Ashtabula County.
Yeah.
And for somebody that didn't come from Ashtabula County, looking for some place to live and looking at all the places that he'd worked in his career as an educator.
Yeah.
So he comes back here and they zap him with being superintendent.
Yeah. It seems like that happened. He was only going to stay 1 year, but now he stayed 2, I believe.
Yeah, and now he says he's getting out.
Yeah, he's getting out. So hopefully they find another one.
Yeah.
But yeah, Tom's a good guy. I like Tom a lot. Again, I knew him when he was the principal because I ran the food service area of the school system, and I also was in charge of custodians and maintenance. So I got to know all the principals pretty well in the system. So, but you know, that's like I've been in all these schools, and North Kingsville, unfortunately, is gone. So, but we'll see what happens with that.
And the playground is gone. I mean, I can understand that, but I was mentioning my grandkids. I mentioned them too much, but when they lived in New York State, and they were looking for a house. They were moving here, and he was going to work at a plant here, and so they found a house in North Kingsville. One of the first things we did is take them down to the playground there, and they really loved that.
Yeah.
And then now it's in, I guess you still go to it, but you got to go to Geneva.
Yeah, really. That playground, yeah. My wife and I both worked on building that playground when when the PTA or whatever it was, and all the volunteers came in and built that. Yeah, I was over there.
My dad was the principal there, and I mentioned that 1970 to 1987, something like that. And summer after he retired, or that summer he retired, they started building that. So he went there and was helped putting that together.
Yeah, it lasted pretty well, you know.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, you know, over the years and the school not being there, and
Right.
it's just hard. It's hard for Buckeye to try to maintain that, you know, nobody there. So they had an offer
Right.
in Geneva.
And yeah, I can understand why, but I can remember when I took the boys down there was lots of cars there. It was still being used.
Oh yeah.
But I'm sure that there were some problems, and the school system was still responsible for it. So
Right.
I could see why.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I hate to say that, but nobody came forward to
Right.
try to preserve it for North Kingsville, and then when that happened, when we found out, you know, Geneva was coming and everything, and then everybody was in an uproar about losing it and everything, but yet, you know, prior to that, nobody thought about it, about trying to preserve it. I mean, I never even thought about it.
Yeah.
So, but until things happen, you know, your eyes are shut to a lot of that stuff going on, and then when it does happen, it's like, hey, why, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, but
if you want to drive a little bit, you can still play on it. You just have to
yeah,
get down
it's
to
up
it.
there in Geneva somewhere.
Yeah, it's not too far from the downtown, where the old stadium was.
Yeah.
But you know, you're talking about that. People wanted to preserve, but then nobody came forward until it was gone. It's kind of the same way now with the school itself. Is that for a couple of years the school board was trying to sell it, and it is like in a central location right there, right by the traffic light and all. And nobody wanted to buy it, and then the school board was almost pretty close, I understand, to demolishing it, but the cost of demolishing it was rather heavy. So eventually somebody has come forth to buy it, but they only paid $3,500 for it.
Yeah, that's what I'm
And
told.
people are saying now, whoa, you're crazy for letting that thing go for $3,500.
Right.
But I'm sure that if somebody else would have said, I'll give you $100,000 for it, they would have taken the $100,000.
Oh yeah, I believe they would have.
It's just a matter of $200,000, $250,000 to demolish it versus getting something for it.
Absolutely. And when you sit down and you analyze exactly that, like, well, we can get something for it versus spending all this money to demolish it and everything else that has to be done, or trying to even restore some of it.
Right.
You know? I guess it makes sense. I was shocked when I saw that price. In fact, I called up the superintendent, Dr. Daringer, and I said, was that a mistake? Was it supposed to be, you know, $35,000 or $350,000? Like, did the newspaper leave off a zero or something? And he goes, no, it's $3,500. I go, wow, I can't believe that.
Yeah.
But, you know, when we talked about all the other things that have to be done, I guess it makes sense.
Yeah. So do you know what's going on with it?
There's a Christian affiliated companies bought it, and or buying it, I should say, in the process of buying it. I don't know if it's a done deal. And what's going to happen is they're going to come in, and I guess they do things like maybe computer classes. They try to find people jobs, veterans, people that are homeless, sort of like you know, help you maybe outsource jobs and stuff like that. That's what I understand. They've got a place in Cleveland, and I'm not sure where else, but I heard they have like 2 places, and they thought that that'd be a nice place. However, the for sale sign's still there.
Really?
Yeah, and I don't know. I have no idea if they're waiting for monies to come in through grants or whatever the delay is. But should it not go through, this deal not go through, to my understanding, that property's still on the market until April. You know, should the deal fall through, the property's still there for April for sale. And then after that, then the school will decide what to do with it.
At $3,500, if this didn't go through, I know that one time, didn't the Buckeye say something to the village about, would you want it? For $3,500, but then you'd have to renovate it and all that kind of stuff.
Well, that offer for 3,500 never came to the village.
Right.
Okay. But I've talked to 3 different superintendents. When this first happened, when the school first closed, and Nancy Williams was the superintendent, and then after she left, Joe Spicia was the superintendent. And we have talked about doing many things with that building, seriously. Mm-hmm. One was, we could buy it or take it over and put one of our, say, either the police department up there, or the offices could move up there and the police department could stay where it's at. But then the expense of running 2 buildings, we didn't think was feasible. Mm-hmm. We couldn't afford it. Then when there was talk about demolishing it, we would have taken the land, because we've had people say, well, that's North Kingsville's property, we gave it to school and it should come back to North Kingsville. And a long time ago, you're talking, what, 1915? Maybe when that happened. So I don't know.
Ago, yeah.
You get lawyers involved and everything could happen. But we would accept that. We wanted to say, all right, hey, if you're going to demolish it and everything, yeah, we'll take it over. And we had designs. We talked, like I said, with superintendents, and we could make it into a park or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
We could come up with some plans. But none of that ever panned out. At one time we thought about, all right, we could, if they would demolish the old part, then the newer part of the building, we could do sort of like a joint thing with and maybe get grants like North Kingsville, the community joining with another community, that sort of a deal. And we were talking about, well, maybe Edgewood would come in and have maybe one room as a classroom where they could do training, and then we could take the other offices and put in our clerks and stuff like that, and the police department could stay down there because we'd be sharing. We'd have a grant, we'd have a sharing expense. But that was in the talking stages, and now, those things are gone.
Yeah. I was just thinking of Jefferson, where they took an old school and they turned it into a community center, part of it, and a police department.
Yeah, there was talk. We talked amongst ourselves of what we could do with that building if we had it, a community center, a senior center would have been great.
Right.
We really talked over a lot of things, me and some of the council members and people, but again, it was like we'd have to invest money in it,
right.
and how would we get that money, whether we were taking out loans or something to do it.
Although if you're not paying $200,000 for the building, you're paying $3,500, that would give you a little bit more leeway.
Yeah, well, even then,
Yeah.
For them people to come in, they're going to have to put in a heating system somewhere along the line, because that heating system's in the old building. So they would have to probably come in and put up, I would imagine, like rooftop heating and air conditioning in the newer part. So I don't know, but I do know that there's 2 boilers in that school, and one of them's completely gone, and I don't know about the other one. But
and those are in the old part of the building.
Yeah, that's
the
all.
The old 1915 part.
Yeah.
And from what I understand, that they would be using primarily the newer part of the building.
Right. Again, back when those schools were built, there's going to be asbestos in it.
Yeah.
So just like the one in Conneaut that they tore down.
Yeah.
So you're going to have, if you demolish that building, you got EPA coming in and
unless you just demolish it.
Yeah. Covered up with a plastic bag.
Which has been done.
Yeah. So I've been told. But yeah. So the school system, they got to watch what they're doing, because even though they haven't put a levy on this year, I don't think, people will be watching that. Like,
right. There is a renewal on. We got a phone call. Let's do it. Hello, you're on the air.
Yeah, morning, Bob and Terry. This is Dave Harlicker. I live at 4334 Shady Lane Drive in North Kingsville, Terry.
Yes.
And I've got a problem. Can I ask you about it?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Now, they put this gravel down and this stuff in the wintertime, and they've been doing it for a long time, which you know. And now we went from a paved road to a mud hole because it never gets swept up or nothing like that. And I went to council 11 years ago, and it hasn't been anything done with it since. I talked about it.
You still there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm not really familiar with that right now. I know that our street department's working, on trying to do a lot of the roads, a lot of grading. But I can look into that for you, and I talked to Tom Peters. and we can take a trip down there and see what's going on, and that'd be no problem.
You used to have a sweeper. They used to sweep it up in the summertime, but I guess they don't do that anymore. They borrowed it from Conneaut, didn't they, or something like that? Do you know?
I know that we borrowed some things from Conneaut before, but I don't think we borrowed it in quite a few years now, and I'm not sure if Conneaut still got the sweeper. I haven't seen it around.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But Bob, I'd have to check all that out.
Okay, because it's just it's just in the summertime it blows around. It's dust, it's dirt. It's all it is like a dirt road around here now, especially in these cul-de-sacs in the back. But you can't miss it when you come down here.
Okay.
All right, thank you very much.
Well, thank you.
Bye.
Bye now.
So we got something for you to do in your spare time.
Oh yeah, why not? But I welcome talks like that. See what we can do and concerns of the people. And if it's feasible, we got a good street department, and we'll go in and we'll take a look at what we can do for them. We just did a big project on Glenwood. We put in some 500 and some feet of drain pipe and 5 basins, because there was a problem there. So we'll work with whatever we can get done and see the problems get fixed. Hopefully, hopefully. So.
Okay, before you leave, I want to talk a little bit about Mayor's Court because I find that kind of interesting.
All right.
Terry McConnell is here. He's the North Kingsville mayor, and I'm kind of intrigued by the Mayor's Court because, well, first of all, you're like a judge, but you don't have to have any kind of legal background, right?
Right.
So tell us about, because I don't know how many Mayor's Courts there are anymore.
Well, there's not as many as there used to be in years past, and you got to understand, a Mayor's Court is to alleviate the workload or the workforce off of other judges like Eastern County Court and everything. And basically what I deal with is traffic. We do some, I do some of the ordinances or resolutions such as dog barking, loud dogs, or open burns and stuff like that. But mainly I go into trafficking. Now some Mayor's Courts will also take in OVI and DUIs. I choose not to do that. But for the training, we have to have a 6-hour training course down in Columbus, and you go over all the traffic, and then there's another 6-hour course for OVI. But every year or every 2 years, you're going to have a 3-hour course. So there's training on that. Yeah. So there's training on what areas or both areas that you got to go in and get updates and stuff like that. But I handle mainly minor misdemeanors. Misdemeanor areas. No, nothing else.
So when it's pretty cut and dry, is that you did this and this is what you have to do?
Absolutely. Speed, for example, you come in and you did this speed and speed is this, to me, how can you argue that, except for people will come in and say the speedometer was off, didn't know it, or they'll give you some other reasons. I'm new to the area. I don't know. I never saw the signs. And
none of those are too good excuses, are they?
No. I get that, and I look at this, and Bob. I'm not being mean, but I look at it like, it's 35 miles an hour in an area, all right, and you're doing 50. And they go, well, I don't see the difference. There was nobody around, and you think, well, I look at it like this. The speed limit has a number on it, be it 50, be it 35, be it 25, whatever. That's the number. That number does not say you can do around that or you can do about this. That's the number.
Or you can go 15 miles
over. There's nothing there saying you can do that. This is it.
Speed limit about 35.
Yeah, hey, you can go around 45 in this 25 corner. No, and that's how I look at it. It's like, that's the law. And that's what it says. People are mad about speed limits or whatever. Well, it's because they got caught. Seriously, when you break it all down, you listen to them, somebody got caught. Now, there are some legit reasons, all right? I'm not going to deny that.
But what kind of...
Well, like, I had one in court where the guy said that the branches were covering the speed limit, and he thought it was one, and he didn't realize it was this. Well, we went out and we looked, and sure enough, the branches did cover that, all right? So I handled it a different way with him, and then we took care of the problem so people could see the speed limit. But there are circumstances like that. I had another one where a guy was a diabetic and he was having a problem. Well, I had to consider that. So again, there are circumstances, but 99% of the time, it's black and white as far as I'm concerned. But I do work with people. I mean, it's not like, hey, you got this $85 fine, you got to pay it now. No, court, we will work with you on paying whatever it is. So, mayor's court is again, it's designed to take those type of things away from your bigger courts.
So when do you have mayor's court?
I have mayor's court every Thursday at 10 a.m.
Okay.
Yeah. So
now what kind of cases can you look? They're just speeding.
Speeding, stop signs, anything traffic-wise. But then again, like I'll get people will call up, or we'll have our officer. Let's say people will call up about somebody's dog or barking dogs. Well, our officers will go over there and they'll give a warning, But if they have to keep on going, if it's a repeat thing, then they're cited into court, and then there's a fine for
And if they admit to it, then you fine them whatever the statute
fine them whatever I
says.
think's appropriate, And then of course it's like speeding. You get one ticket, then the next one you get another. You move into a different bracket of fines. Well, it's the same thing if you're a repeat offender of barking dogs or open burns. The fine's going to go up. But yeah, it's little things like that. Sometimes we'll get people in there disputing over a line, an argument over they're on my property, this and that, they got this going. Well, a lot of times that's a civil court thing.
Right.
That's not us, and we have to say, yeah, you got a problem, but that's not what the village is here to handle. So they're
right. You're not like a mediator on things.
No,
My
hopefully
wife says I gotta mow the lawn, but I don't think it's long enough.
Yeah, and I think that part of the lawn's over there to that neighbor, and it's like, yeah, okay, well maybe you can work it out.
Well, if somebody comes in though and says I wasn't speeding and they plead not guilty, does that then go to Eastern County?
It goes to Eastern County Court. Yeah.
So you're not gonna have any trials there?
No, I'm not going to have any trials. It's not to say that I could say no, I find you guilty anyway, and you've got, you can have a trial by your peers and all that. No, we don't do that. It's the same way. Like I don't want to be involved with OVIs and DUIs and stuff, because that would be an expense to us, because they have jail time with that. And that would mean if I handled that and then I say, hey, this is fineable and up to, say, $200 and 15 days in jail. Well, now we got to pay wherever we're going to put somebody in jail. We got to pay for jail space, be it Ashtabula, Sheriff's Department, county, wherever. So it's best. I don't want to get in that, and especially I don't want to get into it now with everything that's going to happen on the ballots.
Like marijuana and all that.
I mean, now it's so I really don't want to part about that.
Well, we were talking a little bit off air, the powers of the mayor of North Kingsville. There's only certain things you can do. It's more of a weak mayor.
Yeah, it's really a weak mayor. In my position as mayor, I'm in charge of personnel, and I'm in charge of making sure that the ordinances and resolutions are handed out and are obeyed. But I handle like contracts. I negotiate contracts. I do hiring, firing, and any personnel problems within the departments. I try to handle. But when it comes really to financial, like spending any money, buying anything, that's all done through council. You may not like some things that we done, and the mayor will get blamed for it, but actually it's council that did that. It was council that agreed to do whatever we're doing. A good example is if you want to, say, paved roads. Why aren't you paving this road? Well, we have no money. Well, if we wanted to get money, we'd have to go for a bond, or we'd have to go for a loan or whatever. Well, then that would be council's decision. Right. That's not the mayor's decision to do that. So that's the form of government we have. So when people come in, I mean, the only way I vote on anything is if it's a tie.
Oh, all right.
And then I can be the tiebreaker. That's the only time I vote.
So is the government under like state statute? I don't know.
Well, we follow Ohio Revised Code.
Yeah,
we follow Ohio Revised Code and everything. In fact, a lot of our ordinances and things do mimic Ohio Revised Code. We don't go off of it.
Because sometimes like Connie has its own form of government that people.
Yeah, they're a charter.
Charter,
Yeah,
exactly.
they're a
charter.
charter. Yeah. Well, we're not.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And when Connie was not a charter, it was like a weak mayor.
Right.
Probably similar.
Yeah, I would
Where
imagine.
and the city manager now, who's like the mayor, he can appoint his law director. He can appoint his auditor.
Right.
Where it used to be they ran
Right.
elected.
In fact, we just changed it this time around on our treasurer. We used to have a clerk. Well, we had a clerk treasurer that was elected. Well, with this no one that came up now, it's a fiscal officer, and it's been you appoint, so you get interviews, and some people get upset. Well, you took away a vote, but the other thing is too, you got to understand. Just like my position, just like council's position, people will look at it, and if they know you, not so much on what you know. So it's a popularity vote.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying nothing new. Everybody
Right.
knows that. So when you come to positions such as a clerk treasurer, or somebody who's going to handle finances, you want to have a say and the background of
Right.
who's going to be doing
Right.
that. Well,
It shouldn't be just a popularity contest.
right, because
Yeah.
sometimes you elect somebody just because you know them or whatever, and they have not that much of a clue what they're getting into.
Right.
Versus whether if you went out and advertised, or
Right.
where you can come in and interview people and get the best person possible. And that's what I like to do. I like to get the best person possible for any position that we have in the village, be whatever it is.
Right.
So that's where I go from there.
Right. Rather than the guy that's popular and says, "I got a calculator."
Oh yeah, or somebody that has an agenda that they might want to say, well, I want this done, and they
Right.
come in there, and they just
A
have
one-
that agenda, and
right.
that's it. And think they're going to change. Let me tell you, some councilmen will run like that. They think they got, well, I'm going to get on there and I'm going to change this. Well, that's not going to happen, because you can't do it without a majority of council voting, and you may not sway the other 2 or 3 that are in there to do it.
Isn't that pretty much it is with a lot of politicians?
that's
People
all
running
over.
for state. When I get into Columbus, I'm
Right.
going to do this, this, and this. Well, you're going to be a little guy, the new guy in Columbus.
Right.
They're going to give you a little corner office, and you're not going to be able to go in there and
Yeah.
I'm going to change the tax structure or something.
Yeah, you're the new guy on the block, and you got to convince the other people
Yeah.
that what you're saying is
Yeah.
beneficial, not just because you got a grudge.
Right. People have been there longer than you have and know the ropes more than you.
Yeah. So it takes a little time to know that stuff, but it's interesting. I mean, when I first took over, it was a challenge, and then you get everything running smooth, and then boom, some other things are popping
Right.
up left and right, and so yeah, it's pretty interesting. I enjoy it. I do this because I like doing this. I want to help the village. I have nothing to gain. I mean, I have no aspirations of being a commissioner or moving on to anything else. I do this because I think I can help the village, and that's all I'm after. I've been doing it for the same pay for 9 years. I was making $150 a month for 7 years just being a councilman, so it's not to pay.
Right.
So it's just something that I like to do. I like to try to help the village. I like to give back, because I live there, and I want to maintain our street department, our police department, fire department, all of those, our golf course and campgrounds. I want to maintain them because these things, people come into our village because they say, well, you got your own police department,
Right.
you got this, you got that, and those are good things.
Right.
And if you maintain them and keep up that quality of work that you're doing, then you have more people coming in, and it's a better thing.
We're going to be out of time real quick. So
Okay.
Thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you.
Ken McConnell.
Nice meeting you, and thanks again.